And I don't see in my own practice the difference between secular and spiritual.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
I
Yeah.
want to
Glad you
explore
said
that a
Yeah.
little bit here because it's coming from the same source.
Bingo.
And the intention around it is the same,
Well, I was gonna say to me the intention makes the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because to me it's all like energy, vibration, how you compose sound. You can do all kinds of things, but the intention behind it is what creates and informs kind of the frequencies and experience you're gonna have, right?
Exactly.
And that's why, like as creators in ministry, like we're trying to bring things in that's gonna best serve those we're sharing it with, right? And it's gonna bring whatever frequencies and messages and reminders that need to come through. Whereas I do think the intention in some music is a little different in that, there may be a creative element to it, but it may be to follow the newest trend and make money, or to even put out these themes that aren't uplifting. You know what I'm saying? So the intention to me makes the difference.
And you're right about that. I remember this album that Marvin Gaye made some years ago, a long time ago. And I think, I remember the cover, and it was him in a little devil suit on one side and an angel on the other side. I don't know if you recall
I don't know
that.
this one, no.
What
And
album was it? Do you know?
I can't remember the name of it, but there were little Marvin Devils on one side and little
That's
Marvin
crazy.
Angels on the other side. And there was a song on there that said the artist pays the price.
Oh.
And so it was about that intentionality and what you do with your gift. And how you can use that to uplift, or you can use it not to.
With whatever gift you have.
That is
music or
exactly
whatever.
But you're right, it's still all spiritual.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
They'll make it not spiritual. It's just, you know.
But
yeah.
and we were talking earlier about Mary Lou Williams and her approach to her Catholicism. She was a jazz pianist and made her living as a jazz musician and recorded with the greats and helped usher people through the many decades of jazz. And she said, "I'm leaving the jazz industry. I'm leaving it. I'm just going to become a Catholic." And she and Dizzy's wife, Lorraine, were very close and studied Catholicism together. And then Dizzy requested that she return back to the stage to help. Just let's bring you back out. And so she had that battle. And back in the day, 60s was when she came back to the fold and said, here's my expression. And she wrote masses and things of that nature and choir pieces. And that was when things were changing in the Catholic Church to accept that. I forget the term for that, but there was a significant shift in the Catholic Church is how they were going to allow music to be expressed, if you will. So moving from that formal to more folk-centric work. And so in New Thought, my library that I pull from is our New Thought liturgy, if you will. We don't really have a liturgy, although I should have brought it. I do have a religious science hymnal.
Oh, yeah.
I've never
about
used
that?
it. I
never
have
heard of it.
Unity Wings of Song,
Nice.
but I have used that.
Nice.
But, it's interesting because those are from the people who lived in the 1900s, and all of us. But it was used more frequently. I remember the day they took him out of the pews at Unity North. It was clutch your pearls. Oh my God! It was like, oh no, you're not. Where are you putting those? Just go put them in the back.
Yeah.
It was because people don't want their God to change. My mother was a longtime member of her community, and I remember her thinking, and she shared with me from a congregant's perspective, Penelope, don't take God from your community, no matter what you do as your music. Don't, please, I implore you, because this music has changed, and where's God? And I'm like, Mom. So it's an interesting balance. You have to balance that. I don't know where we started, but
Well, I think a lot of New Thought music and a lot of our songs came about because there were no other songs to use I mean, Karen Taylor Good and Karen Drucker and David Alt, of course, and a lot of us had just started writing stuff on our own before we all connected. I remember back in the early 2000s, I went to the first Sound Connections conference at Unity Village and became part of the Unity music team after that for a few years. But we had all just been writing, and it's like we all gathered together at that conference. It's like, oh, here's our tribe. We've been trying to go it ourselves and figure out songs every week, but people actually have songs already written, and some of them are even savvy enough to have charts written and CDs out. And we were so
that's so
excited to
funny.
meet each other finally and know that, oh, we're not alone in this. There's other people that we can pull from. And Daniel Nahmod came on the scene, and all these people came on the scene, and finally we could use everybody else's stuff too. And Sue Riley and Richard McDeesey really helped bring a lot of the musicians together.
JD.
And kind of
Well, I
helped-
remember, also that there were CSL was doing their music and Unity was doing their music, and I'm like, well, wait,
Yeah.
let's put this together because nobody knows Karen Drucker from the Unity movement. Nobody
Exactly.
knows Daniel or Faith Rivera. So there's so much wealth happening because I was at a Silmar with RSI, Religious Science International, but there was a whole movement. So we put them together, and then now it's just this one New Thought
Yeah.
music scene.
I'll never forget. You actually introduced me to, you introduced me to Trinity, and then you introduced me to the Posies, which I didn't even know existed. And my wife and I were like, "Oh, there is an entire."
I was emailing you
community."
too and
Were
saying,
you?
John,
Yeah.
you need to get down to Posse
Right,
Fest."
didn't even know
I don't
about
know.
it. What was so cool, and of course, you hear about like, I thought it was like an awards competition, like the
Yeah.
what do you call it?
The Grammys or something.
No, anyway, there's songwriting competitions
Yeah,
and stuff out
right,
there.
right.
Thought it was just one of those.
Right.
Had no idea it was a whole community. But you convinced me, basically, is the point. You were like, look, it's this, this, and this, and you'll meet music directors and blah, 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 blah. I was like,
you'll meet other
okay, we'll try it
artists
out.
and yeah.
But the reason I bring that up, for me, I was coming from a secular, quote, going back to your point, secular versus, quote, spiritual. For me, it was just music. And then it was based on the intention of, as I grew, I began to shift in intention of what I'm bringing through. And as I got more free of my own suffering, I started, bringing
Yeah.
through something new. And so my music shifted, and then all of a sudden it just aligned with all these other people that were doing it. It's like, wow, there's other people doing this. This is so cool. So it was neat to discover that community. And I don't know if this is unique, but I've never felt like I'm one or the other. I've never felt like or even I'm Unity or CSL or anything. I feel like I am aligning with the source and bringing through, and these communities exist to enjoy it, and we get to
just a
celebrate
musical
it.
pilgrim.
Yeah.
And
Doing your
and
thing.
Dizzy, to his Dizzy Gillespie bringing Mary Lou back into the fold. Say, you bring value. And Duke Ellington was writing masses at the time, and so was Dave Brubeck. Because I come from the jazz lineage, so we were trying to find. You mentioned the devil and because for a lot of churches, because that's where I have been in the church setting. They thought jazz was Saturday night, and then you have church on Sunday morning. Back in the day, I was sitting in panel discussions at the Kennedy Center and wherever, Kansas
But
City.
it was probably the same musicians Saturday night as
so
at the
wild,
church.
Yeah, and we were. I
on
mean,
Sunday morning.
and they were debating, and it's these are dissertations have been written about this, so it is a thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
a funny thing because now we're so far removed from it, and New Thought is very different than a traditional church. But
Exactly. Yeah.
I think of the Judaic law, and it's always Jesus was referencing the heart and expressing that almost in a formality, but the Judaic law would override that. And it's like, wait a minute, don't be over. There's a musician here with talent that has a desire to express in this sacred setting. You're not going to hear Misty by Errol Garner. You're going to hear, please don't bring that. But, perhaps, the Jazz Vespers came
You might.
into the fold. Yeah, you might. Yeah, if it were needing to be played. But it's just interesting how all of it is a melting pot. And so you
Yeah.
have to, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I was just thinking about sometimes when you get a player from a secular setting, it doesn't know the sacred, doesn't know how to set intention.
Right.
That's all. It's just lacking that understanding of like, we're going to integrate that, that authenticity. Allow yourself to be authentic, because that's where Jazz Vespers lives. You know, so it's an interesting.
And some of it
topic.
also, I think, is almost like being a parent. You either are a natural nurturer or not.
Yeah.
And as a musician, you are either naturally more of a spiritual and open-ended, inclusive musician, or you're a soloist, or you're into your own thing, and you're not maybe as collaborative. But I have found, working in both settings, how important it is to listen to everyone and to make it as co-collaborative as possible. Here's another song for you. It's called Love is the Answer. With New Thought Music, we always try to write songs that are going to appeal to the masses no matter what faith you are. We're trying to keep with themes that are about self-empowerment, self-alignment, self-awareness. And this one is called Love is the Answer. When we need to be okay, love is the answer. When we need to find our way, love is the answer. Love ourselves and one another, sister, brother, all that love's the answer. Oh yeah. When the answers are unclear, love is the answer. When we're swimming in our fear, love is the answer. Love ourselves and one another, sister, absolutely know there has to be a better way. And everybody knows that love is much more fun.